Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the DC Universe Classics All-Stars Superboy Prime. So this is our new retail wave of DC Universe Classics, and it looks like it's mostly going to be heavy hitters like Superman and Batman, and characters that are related to them. But in this case, we get Superboy Prime, one of the characters that was essential in the Crisis on Infinite Earths storyline. So I can imagine that this is going to be a figure that a lot of DC fans are going to want to track down. Superboy Prime comes on the standard DC Universe Classics blister card packaging. The back of that box gives us a look at some of the other figures available in this new retail wave, as well as provides us with a bio for Superboy Prime. Alright, so let's take a closer look at Superboy Prime outside of the packaging. He's got a really cool design, as there's a lot going on with him here, featuring that very cool anti-monitor looking armor sitting over his shoulders, as well as all of the golden cables coming from his arms and his legs. It's a really nice paint job, as that yellowy gold of the cables has a bit of a shine to it, so it really stands out. And then the reds and blues on the costume are the standard for the Superman figures. They're nice and bright, but the blues on his wrists and his shin guards and the actual armor he's wearing over his shoulder is a bit of a metallic blue. So there's a lot of really cool deco going on with the paint here. The back of him features a red cape coming out from underneath that armor, and it's nice and tattered, so you got some holes and some tears in it, and it looks like it's blowing slightly off to the side. It's a pretty cool design for the character overall. Now let's take a look at the articulation on there, because one thing I wanted to know right away is if all of these cables were going to hinder that articulation. So Superboy is able to turn his head both left and right and slightly move it up and down. He does have the ball hinge joints at the shoulders, but he's only going to be able to move his arms up to his sides, which isn't much different than standard, but do note that the shoulder pauldron is going to get in the way just a bit. He has the swivels at the biceps, but the wires do not get in the way whatsoever. They're long enough so you can still turn his arms. And then you got the cut at the elbows there and the swivel at the wrist. You have the standard torso joint and the swivel at the waist. Again, with the cables on his legs, you can still use the hinge joints just fine, as the cables are long enough to still allow for a full range of movement. You have a swivel at the thighs, a single joint at the knee, and then the standard joint at the ankles. So, even with all the added accessories put on the figure there, he is still able to move at a full range of motion. Now, it is worth noting that all that stuff is non-removable. It's all glued to the figure, so you're not going to be able to take it off without doing some actual customization of the figure. Now, aside from the snazzy new armor parts that are attached to the figure, Superboy unfortunately does not include any other accessories. Both of his hands are sculpted in fists anyway, so it's not like he'd be able to hold on to anything, but he also doesn't include a figure stand like previous waves of All-Stars did, and of course there is no longer a collect and connect piece. So there you go, guys. There's a look at the brand new DC Universe Classics All-Stars Superboy Prime. He's got a really nice paint job, and the armor is a really nice touch to make this figure stand out as something different that we don't already have. And if you're a fan of the whole Crisis on Infinite Earths storyline, then this might be an essential character for you to add to your collection. These figures should be hitting retail stores very soon, so happy hunting, and until next time.